it's clear that the housing market is extremely hot right now. House prices are rising at extremely rapid rates, double-digit rates. And I think that's being driven by a couple of factors. First, I think we're seeing increased net migration into Arizona, and that is driving up demand for housing. I think we are seeing some of the remote workers relocating from the high-cost Western metropolitan areas into the lower-cost Arizona markets. So there's a demand side push that matters. And, I think we're also seeing supply side factors driven by lumber prices and partially by labor shortages. The good news here, at least in terms of these really rapid house price increases, is I think that will be fairly temporary. I think as we go through the remainder of this year, things will cool off a bit.
You talk about supply and demand, and it may or may not be affordable depending on who you're asking. But the supply, for homes, for example, it takes longer to build a house right now, but also you're going to pay more if you're looking to buy or do some sort of home renovation project right now, correct?
Yes, the building costs are rising rapidly, and that is affecting the house prices. And it's also affecting Arizona's affordability advantage. As house prices outpace our income growth, and they certainly are doing that now, that affects household housing affordability, and that affects our advantage in terms of attracting people from other areas across the West.
You indicated there could be a slowdown coming.
The pandemic is, I think, now beginning to wind down. We're starting to see economic growth gain momentum. I think that will continue as we go through the year. I think in terms of employment, the state will be back to our pre-pandemic high as we get towards the end of this year or early next year. So, the closer we get back to normal, the more these temporary surges will dissipate, and we'll get back to more normal rates of growth in house prices, jobs, and income.
Are there other sectors of note that are facing supply and demand challenges?
Yeah, one area where we're hearing a lot of talk from employers is in the travel and tourism sector. A lot of firms there are complaining of having trouble hiring to fill positions as they're reopening. Again, there's likely a variety of factors that are driving the difficulty that employers are having hiring. Childcare options are still reduced. Schools are closed, and that's affected the labor force participation of women nationally and here in Arizona. There's likely also still a significant amount of fear of workers in terms of going back to these close contact sorts of occupations like waiters, waitresses, that sort of work. And there are some more permanent factors. It's likely that people who were close to retirement before the pandemic and probably retired as a result of the pandemic. People who used to work in these industries and occupations may have transitioned into other industries and other occupations because of the pandemic shock. And it's also likely there's a temporary factor, which is the increased generosity of unemployment insurance benefits funded largely by the federal government. But that's a temporary thing. Those programs are set to expire in early September, and those programs are already getting more restrictive in terms of their generosity. So there are a variety of factors that are at play here. Most of them are temporary. So as we go through the summer and through the remainder of the year, I think employers will have more success in finding the workers that they need.
Are there jobs to be had in Arizona?
Absolutely. We still have a long way to go to replace all the jobs that we had before the pandemic began. But there are large numbers of employers looking to rehire and to get back to work.
Dr. George Hammond from the U of A College of Eller Management, thank you.
Thank you.